And now, the general weather around Alaska.
First up, fire danger today. Increasing here over the southeast interior due to the sunshine, dry conditions, temperatures getting in the lower 70s. And also the forecast for tomorrow is a little bit of an increase back up over the Yukon Flats there, but still pretty minimal in these areas. Medium to high in the southeast interior and low just about everywhere else. And from there, looking at satellite imagery, you can see clouds continue to move eastward here across the most of interior Alaska. Another front dropped down into the western Arctic coast, North Slope Brooks Range area, extending back across Kotzebue Sound. Weak system down here moving off and weakening won't be a factor at all. Sunny skies, mostly sunny skies over the southeast coast today up into the Copper River Basin, and variably cloudy to partly sunny skies here across southern Alaska, back in toward Bristol Bay, Kodiak Island in those areas, and a weak system here over the eastern Aleutians. On the chart, that's just a weak trough, main low center farther to the south, spinning a little bit of a shower activity up into the Fox Islands and the Alaska Peninsula there, otherwise high pressure. Over the southeast Bering Sea, keeping, as you can see, winds quite light just about everywhere here across southern Alaska from the southern central Bering Sea. Actually light winds all the way up to the Seward Peninsula. A little breezy though, especially as that front approached the western Arctic coast, winds 30 to 35 miles an hour, lighter behind it. Areas of rain spreading eastward there with that. A few scattered showers over toward the eastern border. But dry conditions down to the south. And the forecast for tonight, that front weakens here into a trough. And looks windiest there in the central Arctic coast with winds possibly gusting 25, 30 miles an hour out of the west-southwest. Otherwise, areas of light rain and showers become more scattered and isolated here as you head southeast in toward the 40-mile country upper Tanana Valley locations or in toward Chena. Probably dry in those areas actually southward all the way to the Gulf of Alaska. And light winds, variably cloudy to mostly clear skies, southern Alaska. No change for the Panhandle. But look for quite an extensive area of low clouds here right along the coastline there tonight. May work into portions of the inside waters toward morning. Otherwise, chance of rain here over Togiak Bay, Cape Newenham, back toward the Pribilofs. Moisture starting to stream a little farther northward now. And this front bringing more rain into the eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula. The main low center still just barely on the chart there. Weak system out here brings some light rain, fog, and drizzle with warm front action into Norton Sound. And then looking ahead to tomorrow, that low moves up, makes a move up to the eastern Aleutians. Small craft advisory level winds coming into the Alaska Peninsula with rain, spreading up toward the Pribilofs. Otherwise, still have this weak warm front up over the northern Bering Sea, keeping it unsettled there. Low clouds, fog, IFR, St. Lawrence Island into Norton Sound, southern Seward Peninsula. And then a weak cold front brings some shower activity to the far western Aleutians. Still some scattered showers along the remnants of that front up over the narrow band there along the upper Yukon Valley, cutting across the southern Koyukuk Valley. Otherwise, high pressure, light winds, dry conditions for the North Slope out to the Arctic coast. And mostly sunny, southeast Alaska on Wednesday. And the southeast interior, Copper River Basin, high 60s, lower 70s. And for the day on Thursday, front makes a big move up to the north, strong southwest flow as this low center tracks northward to near Nunivak Island. So rain and wind come back in over south central Alaska here, becoming more showery and tending to end in the afternoon over the Bristol Bay area, but wet conditions back into the central areas, back to the west. It stays dry from the Brooks Range to the Arctic coast, and some rain and showers extending in toward the upper Yukon Valley. But sunshine, again, over the Panhandle, except low clouds and fog getting a little more persistent, especially down over the southern areas in the afternoon hours there. And for lows tonight, for the North Slope Arctic coast, 35 to 40 for your overnight lows. Otherwise, 40s to lower 50s elsewhere, all the way down to Kodiak Island, lower 50s, Alaska Peninsula, near 50 or shade under for the Aleutians and Bering Sea, and lower 50s or 50 to 55 for the Panhandle. And looking at highs for tomorrow, 60s to mid 70s there in the Copper River Basin, 65 to 70 around the greater Fairbanks area, to 70 to 75 over toward the border. and 65 to 75 highs for the southeast coast, 50s out to the west, 40s up to the north. And the lows, 35 to 40 again from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, Seward Peninsula 40 to 45, and 45 to 50 Copper River Basin, lower 50s here over south central Alaska, and 40s and 50s for the Aleutians, and the Bering Sea, 50 to 55 for your lows for the southeast coast. And then highs Thursday afternoon, 65 to 70 here for the Panhandle. A little more of a marine influence, maybe keeping it down under 70 in most areas. 70 to 75 eastern interior, 65 to 70 now in toward Fairbanks, and then lower 60s out to the west. 40s to near 50 for the Arctic coast, North Slope areas, and 50s out here over the Bering Sea, maybe some mid-60s there. Possible afternoon clearing there for king salmon, say, as that front moves northward, a little bit of clearing behind that. Otherwise, mid to upper 50s for the Bering Sea.